Hi YouTube, Wolfy here, and today it's now like 11 o'clock at night anyway, but I'm going to make a short episode about this new game called Darkest Dungeon. It's available on Steam for early access. It's actually got quite a lot of content for an early access game. Now, let's just go ahead and play it real quick. Now, this game is very dark. I will warn everybody at this moment, if you are not able to handle dark and gruesome games, then go ahead and back out now. But here we go.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon is about making the most of a bad situation. Quests will fail or must be abandoned. Heroes will die, and when they die, they stay dead. Progress autosaves constantly, some actions are permanent. The game expects a lot out of you. How far will you push your adventurers? How much are you willing to risk in your quest to restore the hammer? Now, I played really this game. I've started over at least twice now, trying to make better decisions and be smarter about my game. 1 minute. Now, this game is very, very dark. Again, I can emphasize that now. Like, this game plays on the aspects of psychotic breakdowns for your adventurers, like realistic aspects of these people. Now, there are about 10 minutes that we're going to step through this and start this off. As you can see, I'm not very far along in this. Each time you go into a dungeon or an area, a questing area, a week goes by. And you're able to take that time to reduce the stress of your adventures. Now that is a big aspect. Too much stress will actually make your adventurers have a heart attack. Alright, let's just get this going. We're going to go ahead and name it the Wolfy Manor or Wolfy Family, just because going with YouTube. Alright, let's go ahead.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous.
Whoops, I accidentally skipped that. Now what basically happened is you see a little bit of madness going on as you're being brought to the hamlet, the area around the manor, and your carriage crashes. So now you and 2 other adventurers, of which you've hired to defend yourself with, are making your way to the hamlet from the bandit-infested roads. Now, this game starts you off with a crusader and a highwayman, basically a rogue. Now, it seems like that's the definitive starting party that you get, is those 2 class of characters, and they seem to start off with the same name. Reynold and Dismas. Or Dismas, however you want to pronounce that. Now down below here you'll see that, or not really see, my screen kind of cuts off, but you have your equipment down here. It shows you the basic stats, your health, your insanity levels. These are your skills. You can move your party around. And if you right click their thing here, you can see where their preferred positions are and where most of their skills will work. Some actually will not work if they're too close to an enemy or too far away from an enemy. Oh, let's pick a spot on the map.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead. Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Now, this has a lot of RPG aspects, but again, it is like a survival strategy game.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Now, it seems like your father, or whoever that man was,
mount, so too will resistance.
Whoever that was in the beginning seems to be like the narrator, even though supposedly he's dead. And this game is very HP Lovecraftian with its monsters and the portal and stuff and what it looks like. Now down here you got your loot. You can choose your inventory and stuff and choose to activate it. You do have a torch that you will need to continuously refill. And that plays a big part in your character's sanities. Your sanity levels.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places. An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome. Quickly the tide turns.
my reporting kind of messed up there for a second, so if there was like a delay right there, sorry. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to go ahead and finish this fight. We're going to take a look at the town, and that's going to be it for the intro episode, but my future episodes for the series is going to be a little bit longer. I know I've been starting a lot of different games lately, and I will hopefully continue those series as things go along, or as time goes on. And now let's go ahead and kill these guys before I already lose somebody. This guy keeps resisting my stun. I'm not really liking that so far.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade. Disadvantage. Give them no quarter. This expedition at least promises success.
Now your heroes and adventurers and stuff have, this is their kind of level right here, the resolve level. And as that goes up, their insanity will go up slower and slower, as well as their stats will go up every time this raises in number. I'm not sure about the max level or anything so far, but I do know that as they get stronger, they will no longer go on easier levels or missions, as they say that they will not gain any experience from it. So you will not be able to use your higher level characters to help level your lower level characters, so it also makes things a little bit harder in that aspect as well. Now he just developed Hyromania, which he will experience religious visions and delusions, which would raise his insanity bar throughout his adventures. So sadly, there was a negative aspect in which a negative trait in which he gained. Now each hero has its negative traits and their positive traits. I do remember if it's
welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
And now you got your Abbey up. We got your Abbey here. Sanitarium, which you can use to remove positive or negative traits in order to gain new ones to the future. You got your Tavern, which is where you can drink, gamble, and or go to a brothel for your characters to lower their stress levels. The Abbey, where they can pray or begin meditation. You got your Guild. This is where you will raise their skill levels, and this is where you can buy and level up their equipment. Graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Now this is the caretaker. He's a little nuts. You'll see him around everywhere, and sometimes he'll also be taking part in the stress relievers, and so that way you actually cannot use those. Now I do know that Reynold normally starts off with God-fearing. In town, he can only pray for stress relief only. Now you can also name these guys whatever you want them to be. I'll leave their names for now. And you get a stagecoach where you can recruit new adventurers that come in every day.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Now this is a witch doctor. They can heal and also do minor damage and status effects to enemies. This is a priest, which is kind of like your Templar in like pretty much Dungeons and Dragons terms or RPG terms. Now we're gonna go ahead and stop it here, and I will continue going with the Wolfy estate when we come back. Bye.